Biden can't start the crucial work that he needs to get involved in for transitional authorities, for everything from the new COVID task force, and this really puts America's health and American interests at risk. So I'm really hoping that, with these marches, don't just embolden the president, all the way until January. I hope we're actually able to find some sort of common ground and move forward.
Right. No, certainly. We have with us, joining in just a moment here, Eric Rosenwald in Tucson. So another half journalist with some expertise in Arizona. Eric, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, great. We can get a visual on the screen now, too. Excellent. So thanks for hopping on and joining us today, Eric. What's the situation like in Tucson now?
Right now in Tucson, there are a few disorganized parades, or some people call them Trump trains, driving around the city. There's nothing really organized going on beyond that. It looks like in Arizona, it's really just up there at the Capitol. That's the real focal point. Last Sunday, there was a Biden a celebration for the victory. There was a celebration at a parking lot at a mall, and some Trump supporters in the Trump train type deal came up on the protesters and followed some of them home. So other than that, there hasn't been much here right now. But it's great to see what Lucas is covering there at the Capitol. I was up there last Friday and Saturday with Lucas, and from what I understand, it's definitely bigger, right?
Good luck. Yeah, hey Eric. So we were here last week, and I've been out here for the past couple. Oh my gosh, too far. I haven't even been able to remember how many days I've been here. But it is growing, and it's really kind of a thing that worries me. Back to what I just said. Is the direction of this going to hinder America's response on so many issues, because we're more and more divided even after the election, and that's something that I didn't necessarily expect we'd be dealing with. And honestly, like we said earlier, there's just a lot of Second Amendment folks out here. The Proud Boys were here and took the stage earlier and talked about their involvement here in Arizona. So, when you really think about the large scale of folks coming together for this, it really brings conservatives together with maybe some of these far right-wing groups that they might not have normally come into contact with, except for maybe the internet. So it's putting a lot of pressure on officials here in Arizona. Folks are starting to do a recall. Doug Ducey, he's the governor here of Arizona and Republican, but they're just not happy with the direction of his work and what's been going on. With everything from COVID to they think his modest support of President Trump.
Wow. Lucas, I recognize some of the familiar faces actually from coverage that both you and Eric have done over the last week or so. It looks like these people are not ready to throw the towel in, so to speak, put the white flag up anytime soon. Do you expect these to continue until transition of power happens?
Yeah, honestly, I'm worried about it going on even longer than that. So that's a major concern. Is just like where the direction this is going, whether it has a concrete form, and what's gonna happen.
I am you, you are me.
Right. Your audio is breaking up. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. What have you talked to people about what the end game is? I remember when I was talking to people, I said, what is the criteria for you to accept that Biden has won? And most of the time, I heard a very vague answer, something along the lines of, well, when we know it's not a corrupt election, when we know it's a legitimate election. I said, well, what specifically, how would you determine that? And they never really had a clear answer on that. Have you heard anything about that? What their end game is?
Yeah, after being out here for a while and speaking to a bunch of different people, I'm really starting to see that, as much as people want a free and fair election, they don't think that Donald Trump could have lost this election, especially here in Arizona. So that's a major concern. And when they talk about the actual person who won the election, they're never really referring to which direction the votes are going. It's more just about what they might see as the political environment in Arizona, and that's what we kind of know is just from seeing a shift, not just in certain communities that were voting. There was a massive flux towards the Democratic Party and on the Navajo Nation and other tribal lands here in Arizona, and I think that's kind of shifting the paradigm of how people are viewed in the context.
And still fighting for what I believe in. This is my son right here. This is my son. I want you guys to know something. That we need to have a leader that is a servant leader. We don't need a leader that's a reward leader. And I was listening to the sermons at my church, and I was like, wow, we just got through a really good series about what leadership looks like. And as a leader, you are an influencer. Every single one of you who got your lives out, every single one of you standing here are an influencer. We are influencing people to do things in a positive, constructive manner. Going forward, for our president, though, we need somebody who's going to continue to fight and serve the people. People that continue to be a servant leader, doing something that's not for him. He couldn't be bought. He was already a billionaire. He already had everything he could have ever wanted. But he saw the corruption. He saw what was going on, and he took a stand for you and for me. I look at my child now, and I realize the country that I leave to my son right now is not sitting where I want it to be. The perversions that seeped into the seams, that have dripped in there, milked it in, slowly but surely, little by little, they have gotten people used to the corruption. And they didn't do it all at once. That's why the silent majority...
Hey, Lucas, do you recognize that speaker? Do you know who she is? Did she identify herself?
Yeah, I've spoke with her. Originally met her last week, and I've been talking to her and seeing her for a while here.
Great. Oh, Drew Shepard from Los Angeles. Welcome. Great to see you. Stacy Champion says influencing hate. So some interesting comments there coming in. Tell us what your thoughts and reactions are to this MAGA rally at the Arizona Capitol here. Erica, how has this differed from the scenes that you saw last week or last weekend even when you were out doing that marathon coverage here on HAPS?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it's really just a transition. It's a lot more organized. I felt last week was very ad hoc. People showing up over Instagram posts and things, and this week it's there's been speakers here for the past going on 3 hours, folks coming out and supporting. We have groups like the Proud Boys here coming up armed, providing security, and very buddied with the local police force. So it kind of makes things like a really peaceful environment where everyone's kind of on the same team in that sense. But even yesterday, last night at some of the sign waving events I saw, they were seeing support and seeing police cruisers drive by and beeping in support of their Trump sign waving. So it's really interesting. But this is towards the end of the day, around noon. It was very heated here, very lots going on, lots of energy. People arriving and just excited to be here. Now it's tapered down to probably around 250 people total. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with things here.
So who exactly is organizing this? Is it just the same people who brought the PA sound system from last week? Do you know if this is the same, or is it an organization or just a couple of people taking upon themselves to do this?
I'm not exactly sure. I know last week there was a whole different structure to it, and even if we go over here and check out over towards the Capitol itself, there's local fire trucks that have been converted to Trump fire trucks, and there's a Trump campaign bus here as well. So it's definitely very orchestrated. I've been seeing some articles recently just talking about some of the different groups that are involved in this nationwide push, and as much as people are thinking that it is very ad hoc and just kind of spawning out of nowhere, there's lots of groups that are being involved in organizing this. And I even heard that Roger Stone was working on, bringing out support here in these places and things like that. So.
Wow. Wow. Greetings to Cameron, another broadcaster here on HAPS. Thank you for tuning in here. Getting a lot of comments in saying these seem to be largely uneducated people. Another comment saying, are there any sensible men there? Trump campaign bus is broken down. He spent all the money on orange face makeup. So anyway, lots of reactions here in the comments. What are you thinking when you're seeing this scene unfold here? Thanks to Lucas Mulliken's breaking coverage of this protest.
Yeah, I think honestly, coming out here multiple days in a row, this is just kind of turning into a very orchestrated political, movement to get folks out and to get them organized. And as we see over here, there's just tons of people that show up to sell flags and hats, and you'd be shocked at how quickly, new styles of hats and all this stuff comes out. As far as like Stop the Steal, I think we have some buy one get one free merchandise here on this here truck. Wow. When you're out here, you just see constant folks getting new hats and memorabilia and things like that.
Wow,
like I just
this is quite the scene here. I'm seeing lots of flags and visuals, and did not take long at all, did it, for the merchandise to start rolling out. I don't see any counter protesters here. Have you seen any at all today, Lucas, when you're there?
Honestly, I haven't really seen anyone get out of their car. I've seen folks drive by and have really made a point to express, maybe some profanity or express some distaste for these folks out here. But that's about it. No one's really pulling over and getting out. I did see earlier that there was a small group of folks. I'm not sure if they were Teamsters or what type of organization they were, but they all had very similar, high-end polos on, and we're here, expressing that Donald Trump had lost. And we're also hanging out and kind of being very, strong and strong-armed, and just not letting people talk to them or bother them. So.
Wow, we see some people dancing with Trump flags here.
People love YMCA.
Yeah.
Is it kind of a festive environment like it was at times last weekend? I was surprised how much dancing and excitement I saw.
I think you just got to keep it active, keep it dynamic. If people get bored, then they're not gonna keep it up.
Quite a scene. Chris Gutter on app here. I'd like to hear more from the protesters. Ask the guy on the ground to speak to some of them.
Let me see if I can find anybody to talk with.
Sure. Yeah. If it's safe, we don't want to pressure you, but it would be interesting to hear from someone before we sign off today and get a perspective from the ground. What are people thinking?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find somebody really quick that looks like they might be interested in speaking with us. Usually folks scurry away when they see someone talking on their phone to themselves. They're just like, I don't want to be involved in that. There's also people taking pictures in front of the Trump bus.
Oh yeah, check that out. Wow. So clearly someone's organizing this this week. It's totally different here. We got the buses out. Wow. Is that a Trump fire truck? What is going on?
It's Fired Up Freedom.
Wow. Amazing. I wonder who is sponsoring this event.
The guy who runs this actually sells Trump merchandise at pretty much every event. So maybe if I could find him, he might be able to talk to us. Let me see. Don't know where he is right now.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to hear from people making money off of this, really.
This is my favorite part of this entire fire truck is the built-in grills.
Wow.
So you can really barbecue. In case anyone's trying to rent this, I'm pretty sure that's the website in Phoenix, Arizona.
Huh?
Fire Up Freedom. I'm not sure where he is right now.
No worries. Lucas, we really appreciate your time and reporting from the ground there. Stay safe. I know that you have to sign off shortly. You're there with some more coverage today on the ground in Arizona Capital from Phoenix at the MAGA rally. Really appreciate your time. Would love to see some more continued collaborations between Lucas and Eric here on HAPS. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in today. Really exciting to hear from you guys and get this insider perspective. You know, this is not being covered anywhere else, to my knowledge. So exclusive here on HAPS on the ground. Fantastic reporting, Lucas.
Yeah, thanks. And I know Eric and I are going to be going down to southern Arizona soon because even though, you know, there major parts of the United States are moving forward with Trump and being out of office here in January, the wall is still being built. They're still blasting into sacred mountains and really just damaging a lot of the local environments there. So we're going to go continue. I've been doing a lot of work with folks from the Center for Biological Diversity and similar, just to bring awareness to this. So, yeah.
Excellent. Looking forward to that coverage. Again, you can join HAPS and be able to sponsor and support monetarily Lucas's reporting on the ground here, Eric's reporting on the ground here. Please jump onto HAPS and check out what it's all about. There are free reporting tools here for anyone interested in broadcasting. But that does it for today's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone who tuned in. And most importantly, thank you, Lucas and Eric, for your input and analysis and breaking coverage of this continuing counter-protest.
Yeah, thanks so much, Peter. And yeah, definitely give us a subscribe and a follow. And we'll continue to report from the Capitol here in Arizona as the election debate continues.
Fantastic. Have a great day. Stay safe out there, Lucas.
Will do.